Camille Thurman, and welcome. You're here for the second season of The Haven Hang. I'm really excited to feature today's special guest. She is a fantastic and outstanding vocalist, and she's, I think, one of the greatest treasures that we have. Please give it up for the dynamic Miss Faye Carol.
Oh, you are such a dear. I thank you so much. How are you doing today? Looking so beautiful.
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Where do we start? First off, I just want to say thank you for joining me today. It's really an honor to have you. And I know a lot of young musicians out there are waiting to hear your story and are excited to learn about you, but also to get to hear from some words of wisdom from you. So just thank you for being here.
Oh, you're so kind. I just appreciate being here today. You know, it's a blessing to wake up, and it's a blessing to be able to speak with you and all that you are bringing forth and all the connections that you're making us all have. It's just a blessing. So I too am very, very honored, no doubt. So talking about me is, it seems kind of weird, but I have to do it all the time, and I'm pretty good at it.
Well, let's just start. How did you get started? Like, what inspired you to go on this journey of being a band leader and a vocalist?
Well, to just go back early years starting, I was with my grandmother in Mississippi, and she was a teacher there, and
Mm,
she taught very young children. And my parents had come out here in California, and I didn't want to leave my grandmother, so they let me stay there with her. So there was no child care or anything like that. So
mm,
she just took me to school with her. And I just intermingled with the other kids. And in Mississippi, it wasn't paying black people a whole lot of attention. So there was no brouhaha about separation of church and state and all of that.
mm.
So in every kind of holiday, every kind of day it was, they had some kind of skit or some kind of little play or some kind of theatrical something. So she just kind of put me in there with all the rest of the kids. And I found that I was just a kind of natural ham. And from there, and she really put it into me that I could do what I wanted.
Mm,
That was one of my greatest gifts, was to honestly feel that I could do what I wanted, even when I was kind of not sure.
mm.
As you grow older and more things happen and more influences happen and more things pull you in different directions.
Right,
But being mine, she let me know that you have the right to the tree of life and
right.
you can do what you want to. So from there, and by the time I moved out here, then I was singing, and that's where I started really singing in the church
Mm,
and been in little groups all around town for various reasons, just loving to sing,
yeah.
basically. And then I met Martha Young, and she was Lester Young's niece.
Get out. Oh,
She and come to find out she lived around the corner from me. And
wow.
our churches was having like a fashion show. So I was to sing at the fashion show, and she was to play piano at the fashion show. And that's how we met because I was supposed to sing with her. So getting together with her was like a dream.
Mm,
Love to play, and she could really play. So that was my history lessons and all of that's kind of started with Martha because she told me about her uncle and she told me about Lady Day. And from that, I started learning about everybody. And I met my husband, and he taught up at the University of California a Black History of Music course. So I monitored that class and read all the final papers, and I just learned so much. I learned so much, and what I learned most of all was my culture
Mm,
that is mine,
right,
right? So
right.
that was like an awakening, because all before you just sing for the love of singing, and music takes you from one thing to another thing, so
Mhm.
you just kind of follow it,
Right,
but not really with a purpose, you know.
right.
But by the time I got through studying up there at the university and studying the history and feeling a kinship to the ancestors,
Mm.
I, and then I went to LA because I thought I wanted to be a pop princess. And then when, when by the time they made me know I didn't want to be a pop princess, I came back here and decided I wanted to do this.
Mm.
And my husband, who was not my husband at the time, when I was a little vacillating, not knowing quite what to do, he said, "Well, you know, if you do the music of your culture, it'll always take care of you."
Right.
So, finding out that it was my culture, and other thing he said to me that was awakening was that, people around you say, well, you need something to fall back on,
Mm.
and blah, 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 chatter. And you need security, blah, 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 chatter. So after a while, you start wondering, well, do I need these things? But what he said to me was, if you want to sing, singing is an honorable profession. I said, well, goddamn, that's right. That is the truth. You couldn't be no more honorable than Mahalia Jackson,
Exactly.
Aretha Franklin. And these were the people that was my primary influences when I first started singing.
Mm.
Uh, Gladys Knight and all the gospel singers, Sam Cooke. And then once I started learning about Lady Day and Lester Young and
Mm.
all the cats and Sarah and Ella and Bird and everybody. It was just, I was insatiable. It was and still is just so exciting and so rewarding. And it's just the gift that keeps on giving, you
Yeah.
know, because those people still inspire me just the same. And I love singing just the same. So all of that kind of led me to here with a lot of things all in between there. A lot of trips, a lot of good things, a lot of shady things, a lot of, you kiss a lot of frogs along the way.
Sure do.
But then, you run into some good people and some good circumstances. And you have a lot of fun doing what you do, and it makes you know why you're doing what you do, and the connection that it gives you to people, and the therapy that it gives yourself, let alone somebody else. It gives you therapy.
That's right. It sure
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So, and I'm just here grateful for the journey.
I have a question for you just about being a singer or being a vocalist and being a musician. How for young women and for young men, how do you find yourself in becoming a band leader?
Wow, that's really a kind of a hard question, because nothing about this stuff has a blueprint.
Yeah.
So all along the way, you make your way.
Mm.
You have to find out, first of all, what the hell you want to do. Do you really want to do this? Are you really going to be willing to pay the dues to do this? Uh, and then you just start out, sing somewhere, sing somewhere. Then you start finding out what you like and what you don't like, and what you start understanding what you want to do, where you want to go. And you just follow your dreams. And it's true. When you make one step, another step will be made. And it's like Abby Lincoln said, the music is the magic.
That's
You
right.
know, it's just magic. Things just happen. If you know that's what you want to do. And for me, what happened was it was out of necessity
Mm,
because uh, when I was doing R&B primarily, I was singing with everybody else's band.
mm,
But when disco came in and R&B around the local scene started not being, but I had already still been in the shed with Martha. So I knew the tunes and Nancy Wilson
mm-hmm.
and learning some music and stuff. So I was able to go in another direction. So, but in going in another direction, when things was dried up in that particular medium at that time, if I was going to want to go, then how the hell was I going to go?
Right.
So I started calling people, come and let's practice.
Mm.
And practicing, it stirs up energy.
Yep. Sure does.
So from that, I started off with a pianist. And instead of asking for a raise for myself, I asked to get another musician. Then I had a bassist. And it went on like that until I had my trio.
Mm.
And for a long, long time, I worked with my trio. Then I added a quartet sometimes, added a saxophone.
Mhm.
Because I love, 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 love the saxophone, as you well know.
Right.
I think I got a sister in that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So whenever I can, that's what I do. You
Mm.
know, so then it's been all kind of aggregations.
Yeah.
You know, from still it's just now Joe Warner and I work together as a duet a lot, and then sometimes I still work a trio. And I was fortunate enough to have Buster Williams to come out here
Buster. I love Buster.
and complete my trio.
Oh
And
man.
that was the last gig I had that people could come to
Mm.
before COVID. And we just kind of squeaked that one by.
I think I remember watching that with Daryl, and you were doing "It's Not Easy Green Being Green," and I loved your version of that.
Yeah, so then, then you just somehow find a way when you have a mission.
Yeah.
The mission for me was always to sing. It's like, what do you want to be, little girl, when you grow up? A singer. Well, that never changed. I don't really want to have a clothing line or no perfume or nothing like that. I just want to sing, keep these songs, do my part
Mm.
in keeping these songs alive and calling these people's names
Right.
and and keeping them relevant as much as I can. You
Right.
know, doing my part. Keep if I can call ladies' name 2 or 3 times a day. If I can call Dakota Staten's name, or Donna Washington's name, or Gene Ammons' name, or Billy Eckstine's name, or Sonny Sit's name,
Mhm.
or Washington's name. It's just so many that's been given us so much, so many for so long. Yeah.
You
And
know, it's it makes me feel so good hearing you say all those names because I'm a firm believer too, in that everything and anything you do, you carry those names with you, especially when you're on stage, when you're performing, whether you're singing or you're playing. Could you share how important it is to have that understanding of the history along with performing the music?
Well, the history for me, I always try to speak from my own perspective
Mhm.
because I don't want to tell somebody else what to do. I can just tell you me. And for me, the connection with history is what keeps me grounded
Mm.
because that's something that's real and tangible, and it don't depend on anything. It don't depend on anything because they have all already and lift every voice when they're talking about the blood and trodden through the blood and all of that. Well, that's all real and it's all there. And it makes me know who I am better because the outside world or the general world, they don't really know who the hell I am. Ain't no reason for them to. But the lineage, in other words, the lineage is what helps me to know who I am. Why do I like to stay up late? you know, why do music affect me so much?
Right.
Like I can see other people and it just don't seem to phase them all that much. For me, I can't be still. I can't shut up. It just really affects me so much.
Mhm.
And all of that stuff is really, really real and it's all connected. It's just all connected. And when you understand the history, then you do see the connection. You see your part in it.
Right.
And it don't have nothing to do with ratings or how many records you sold. Nothing. No more than the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It ain't got nothing to do with Billboard. That's just what happens. Right? So this music has already been blood soaked. So it's real, and I just feel so privileged to be a part of that lineage, and that's cool for me.
Yeah.
You
And what
know.
I love about your music is when I hear it, it's so real. It's embedded in the blues. It's embedded in our tradition as African Americans, and it tells the story, the feeling, the moans, the groans, every aspect of it. I love that. Could you talk about how I when you're performing on stage, how do you allow yourself to be transparent to bring that through? Because I know for some young artists, the hardest thing they have is letting go and letting the music speak and open up and be free.
Well, first of all, to me, going back to me, you have to surrender and you have to be prepared. If you're prepared and you let go, then you know it ain't you in the first place. You're just a vehicle.
Right.
Your preparation for being there and your belief and your conviction for being there, and you done got ready to be there, and you know you got backup because Ma Rainey is there, Bessie Smith is there, Count Basie is there, Jimmy Rushing is there. You know what I'm saying? Lester Young is there. So, and you done learned the song. Whatever, if it's got words, learn the words. If it's a tone poem and ain't got no words, that's fine. Get in that sucker. You just have to know that's what your right is. That's where you're going to be your happy self. And that's where you should be because that's where you really want to be. So if you really want to be there, then all the extemporaneous things, those little things that talk to you in your head that say, well, maybe I ain't ready, or somebody else said this, or I should have put on a white blouse and not a red one, or I shouldn't have ate McDonald's last night. I know I should have ate that kale salad. You know what I'm saying? All these things that talk to you that make you feel unsure. You arm yourself by knowing the material and believing in what you're doing
Mhm.
and knowing that you're the vehicle to do it. And if you make a mistake, it's just manure, it's fertilizer. It's just fertilizer. And everybody know what that is. It makes things grow.
That's right.
It's cool. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about, Lord, I got to be perfect. Because there is no perfection. We just strive for perfection,
Yeah.
but not to the point where it's going to hold you back or make you feel unworthy or any of those kinds of things. Because the breath of life makes you worthy. If
Right.
you got breath, you got life, you are worthy. And as long as you're not hurting yourself, anybody else, or the planet, have at it. Because it's needed. It's
Right.
room. It's big tent. It's room. Have at it. And don't worry about a lot of stuff that you can't do nothing about. What you can do about is go to the shed. That's what you can do.
That's right.
That's
That's true.
that's what you control. It ain't very many things that you really control, but heading to that shed is kind of what you control.
I was thinking because for a lot of young women, when they're starting to learn how to play or to develop as singers, especially when they're young, this is something I feel is vital to learn as a young woman because when you grow up in society, it's interesting because we have this weird thing where we celebrate women for giving all, but not investing in developing in themselves, especially at a young age. When you're learning a skill of music, you're investing in yourself, and there's something positive with that. Like I remember as a kid, I would go practice for lunchtime, and my friends would look at me like, "What's wrong with you? You should come hang outside with us and look cute."
Yeah,
Asking myself, like, "Well, what's wrong with doing something for myself that makes me grow?"
that's making your heart smile.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you talk about like what gave you the confidence to push forward and develop your artistry and be your own artist, a leader?
I think it was two things. One was necessity because there was nobody else to do it and to do it for me. So was I going to go home or what? I had already been looking for managers and agents and all of that, and that's still elusive. Still a lot of frogs going on with that. So, so if I wanted, if I want to do it, then it's like, okay, then I got to learn about how to do this and be all right with the mistakes that I might make and know how to love people, love the people that's going to be with you.
Right,
You have to know how to love the people in spite of themselves sometimes.
right,
uh, and then you have to know what you're asking of people. And asking is so much better than demanding.
yes,
um, yeah, it was just necessary for me to keep going because it used to be a house band situation. You just take your charts to the house band.
mhm,
And when all that dried up, then I have to keep, and then I by then I had started learning tunes. So I got to have somewhere to either do these tunes or then all of these people's predictions is going to start coming true. You know what I'm saying? What you going to do when the light bill is due? What you going to do and what you going to do and what you going to do? So I said, well, I learned how to put on a pot of beans, right?
right.
At one time, bake a chicken. That's what you're going to do. And keep on looking for what you want, you know, reaching for what you want. And then somehow, something will happen. That's the magic part
Right.
because it's a genuine effort and it's a genuine um, loyalty to what that effort is.
Mm.
You know, if this cat was trying to make that Ford car, he had to be genuinely invested in that
Right.
because I'm sure it just didn't put right at first.
Right.
You did. He had to go through some Lord have mercy. This stuff ain't gonna work feeling. But you know that T-Model came on, and now I'm scared on the freeway because people driving them so fast.
Right.
But it had to come from being born out of an idea and a thought, and then the effort that's put behind it.
Right.
The effort is just, and that's what you can't say to a person what that effort is because that's the individual part. For yourself, you know what that means. Do that mean that you just got to give something up in order to do this, or can you incorporate this into that, or what does that look like for you?
Right.
But to me, uh, it's like Duke Ellington say, music is my mistress. So since I ain't having mistresses, it's more like my religion.
Mm.
I just really believe in it, and it's a 7 day and 7 night a week thing. You don't get too much off time. I'm not taking too many vacations.
A lot of sacrifices made.
Yeah, but it's good because I still get to sing these songs.
Mm.
And I get to be with beautiful people like yourself
Aw,
because it's music that actually brought us together.
right.
Yeah, so for me, that's one of the other great things about it. Music takes me many, many places I would not go myself.
Mm.
And I have met many, many lovely people that I wouldn't have ordinarily have met had it not been for music. And it's taken me through all my dark days, and I don't have no problem being happy on the happy days.
Yeah.
So I'm just really I live in gratitude with it.
Yeah. I have a question. So, for the vocalists out there, when it comes to picking out repertoire, how how do you go about finding a good song that works?
Wow. I have two feelings about that. Because first of all, it's been some songs that's done been working for 50 years or
Mm.
60 years that you don't have to wonder about. Do this work?
Mm.
Stardust will always work.
Right.
But by the same token, there's always fresh energy.
Right.
So there are some people that have a real talent and a kinship for writing.
Mm.
So I just kind of keep my ears open and my heart really open, and just whatever strikes me, that's what does it.
Yeah.
If it hits me, like that song Green you mentioned, I,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking nothing about no green. I was watching Sesame Street with my daughter,
Hmm.
and Lena Horne came on there and sang that song to Kermit the Frog. And I thought, man, that's a nice tune. I
Yeah.
really like that tune. And then that night, I'll tell you about magic. That night, I was on my way to the gig, and lo and behold, who came on the radio but Ray Charles singing Being Green. I told my husband, stop the car. I had to get out the car and run around the car 2 or 3 times. Oh, it was so good and so impactful.
Yeah.
That's when I said, and I was working on an album at the time, and I
Mhm.
had no intentions of putting that song on the album. I didn't know about the song till I heard it on Sesame Street. And then at night it was Ray Charles, and I was just bowled it over because I'm such a Ray Charles fanatic. I was just bowled it over. And then did somebody send me this song through the mail, the sheet music to this song?
Mm,
I couldn't believe it. And I learned the song and put it on my album, and I've been loving that song ever since. But I couldn't believe that the song would just show up.
yeah.
It just showed up through the mail. And it was all like one, two, three.
Wow.
Already in the studio. I didn't plan on it. Nothing like that. But it's been one of my favorite songs. So usually I'm eclectic in the stuff that I like
Hmm.
because there's so much talent in the world. I try not to limit myself. I just kind of open up. And if it passes by me and I like it, that's the criteria. It could be a simple little stupid song, a little ditty, or it could be some involved song like Lush Life or something.
Right.
It's just if it's done come from somebody in a sincere way, and this is a real person giving you something, then I think you owe yourself a listen
Mm,
or you owe yourself a look.
mm,
And then if it strikes you right, then it might be something for you.
right.
And then what do? You try it.
Right.
And if it works, let's keep it. If it don't, we're gonna set this baby over to the side. Maybe it'll be good for somebody else or something. It's a matter of taste.
That's right. It sure is.
Mhm.
So when you're picking a band, and this is probably great for young artists, what are you as a band leader looking for in your musicians?
Well, you tell them babies out there they need to learn the blues.
Yeah.
Just right there. Y'all can go damn near to Tchaikovsky or Chopin or somebody. All of them babies is cool.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something. Go to the source. Go to the source. And that's the blues. No matter what you think about 1, 4, and 5, go there. Linger in there a little while. And there are a bunch of different people and different contributions to the blues to check out.
Mm,
If you want to go from Robert Johnson and all of those people, a Muddy Waters, a Coco Taylor, a Sippy Wallace, Alberta Hunter, just go there. Fool around up in there. Yeah, and then follow your nose. You got taste. If you're an artist, then you have things that you like. And
right.
certain people do things that you like. So you follow that. Who is it that you like? And is it Abby Lincoln? Who is it? Is it Anita Baker? I don't know. Is it Nina? You know, follow who you like and try to delve off into there because that's the hookup. You're not gonna end up being them, sounding like them, and all that people worry about because I got to have my own thing. Well, you don't have to worry about having your own thing. When you wake up and you look in the mirror, you looking at your own self. So you ain't got to worry about it because once you do something and you do it kind of repetitiously, it's gonna come out you. It's gonna come out you. But you was influenced, Lord Jesus. You was influenced by something,
Yeah,
some people.
that's right.
Horns. You was influenced by some horns somewhere. You had to hear somebody that said, make you say, well, I'm gonna go hear some more of that. Whether it's Lockjaw Davis or who was it? Eddie Cleanhead Vincent, who was it? Vi Red.
Hmm.
Who was it? It was somebody that made you say, I'm finna blow this thing.
That's right.
You take your influences and you hug them and you love them and you, because they're there for you,
Right.
And it's just like, I like to eat, so everything for me is about food. So if you want to bake a cake, you start with the basic cake. How do you make a basic cake? But from there, if you want to put some chocolate icing on it, you can. If you want to put some chocolate swirls through it, you can. If you want to put some caramel in it, you can. There are many things that you can do with it. You can turn it upside down, put some pineapple on it. You can. You can put some more cocoa in it and turn it into chocolate. You can. So that's kind of the way the metaphor is for music. It's just so much out there for you. Follow what you like and develop it. Develop it, and it'll turn into you.
You said a very important word, development. I feel like this generation, because everything is so instant, fast, here, there, there's not a lot of time or a lot of, I guess you could say, value on that period of development. Could you speak on your personal experience on your development as an artist and how that helped you have such a long, great career?
Yeah, because to develop your craft is what you have to do in order to have a craft. You can just learn some song or something on the surface, but if you don't delve and dissect things, you have to learn about it. You don't want to go to the dentist and the dentist don't know nothing about teeth. So, you know what I'm saying to you, girlfriend? You want them to know something about it. So you have to learn something about your craft. And it takes a certain amount of time. It's not like Folgers coffee and you just boil some water and pour some water on it and now you got some instant coffee. It
Mhm.
ain't going to be instant. You can try to approach it instantly if you want to. You can do all of that, but it still ain't going to take the place
Right,
of something that has simmered and come into its being.
right.
You have to take the time that it takes, and since you're supposed to love it, and since it's supposed to be your life's journey, then just take the freaking journey. It ain't like you got to have everything in 15 minutes, because if you had everything in 15 minutes, then what the hell you gonna do?
True.
Everything ain't nothing else to do.
True.
You
Uh,
know, just take the journey, and life will give you your ups and it will give you your downs. And your downs will teach you things that'll help you when you get back up again. Because it's all a cycle. It's just like Abraham Lincoln said, the circle of love, the circle of life. It is. So you don't have to worry about it. It's gonna give you great, great things, and there are things that you're gonna have to figure out and cry a little bit.
mhm.
Blue monk. Monk reads the blues you hear. But it also says keeping on from year to year.
Yeah.
Right? You have to keep on. Dust yourself off when need be. And learning about that history will help you a lot because it gives you an anchor.
Hmm.
It gives you something to hold on to because you'll find that trials uh, don't change a lot. The facade of it might change, but up under there, those things are kind of the same, And when you find out about somebody else's life and how they made it, and they still have us wanting to talk about them and hold them up and everything, you'll find that they had a journey too. And some of their journey might mirror your journey. And in so, it might make you be able to see something a little clearer.
That's so true. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I remember. when I first started playing, I was about 13, 14 years old, and I stumbled upon a CD of Ella Fitzgerald in the library, and I also stumbled upon a CD of Sarah Vaughan.
Mhm.
That was the first time I saw a woman with chocolate skin,
Mhm.
beautiful. And then putting on a record, I was like, wow, she's doing something so creative and such a high level. And then seeing her pictures and then reading her autobiography, it gave me so much confidence, especially at a time where I felt very kind of alone because I might have been the only girl, the only black girl, and then you're trying to play an instrument that you don't really see other girls playing. It empowered me so much just seeing them, and then also knowing you can be a band leader, you could be respected, you could perform at a high level and be valued because of the gift that you share when you perform. Yeah.
You're deserving of that, and you have to know that. You just deserve to work at a high level.
Yeah.
You want to be your higher self, and you want to do good work, so you feel good about yourself. That's what good work will manifest in you. To be feel good about yourself. And when I saw the same thing you did, but
Mm.
I saw Pearl Bailey and I saw Lena Horne, and and when and the first jazz person that made me sit up, because Martha had told me about Billie Holiday, but I hadn't really heard her.
Mm.
I hadn't really heard anybody really. And because I was a top 10 person and a gospel person. So
Mm.
I hadn't delved off into the blues, and I hadn't delved off into straight ahead things at all. But I was always open to everything. And upon finding Nancy Wilson in that yellow dress, the dress is what got me. I saw this dress and said, Lord, I like this dress.
Yep.
And then got the record. And then I found out somebody told me, oh, well, she's with Cannonball and she's with all the cats. Then
Yeah.
I found out it was such a thing as all the cats, you know. And these songs were just so good, oh my God.
Yeah.
So then I started learning all the songs on every record, all the songs on every record. Um, and that's what led me to the straight ahead life,
Mm.
and then when I met my husband, and he was a musician, and Martha used to let me go to work with her and sit in, and that's when that developing thing that you're talking about was happening. But at the time, I didn't know it. I liked to sing and found a way to sing,
Mm.
and I really didn't think of it as developing, but that's exactly what was happening.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like you see yourself in them once you finally have something to see.
Yeah, and so far as being a leader, sometimes you have to shake people up because everybody ain't nice and sweet, and everybody don't really like taking directions from a woman.
Could you speak on that, Miss Faye?
So everybody don't be loving you. Like they all say, I can't stop loving you. Well, I think they did stop loving me sometime. Yeah, because people didn't like for you to say things to them, give direction and things like that, or have a sense of what you want as opposed to what somebody else wants for you.
Right.
But this is what I want. So, and at those kinds of times, what I have to zip my gorilla suit up.
He called it the gorilla suit.
Gorilla suit, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
On. So I putting it on is one thing, zipping it up is another.
Whole nother animal.
Lord, yes, I want you to let me be sweet, nice, and kind as much as I can because I'd rather do that. And I really don't like confrontation. I really don't.
Mhm.
But sometimes when you have to stand up, It's confrontational.
Right.
And sometimes you do have to stand up and stand your ground
Right.
as a leader.
Right.
That's the direction in which you're going with your band. So at sometimes every now and then you have to let people know, well, this is my band. Hello, hello.
That's so true. I find with young students, especially young girls, when I work with them, that's one of the biggest hurdles. That's really hard. Even, and not just young girls, even all the way up into college and high school, and sometimes
Yeah,
after college, finding the strength to be able to say no,
yeah,
also having the strength to speak up and say what it is that you need,
that's right.
you want. There's this weird conception of, well, if I speak up or say something, then there's a negative connotation with that because of my association being a woman and speaking up versus what society presents a
Mhm.
woman is. And it's kind of hard for young girls to develop that, especially if there aren't examples like that being pushed.
Right. Because you see, that right there is what you said is a key thing. Because they don't allow you to see your sheroes and heroes. So you don't really be seeing a whole lot of examples. And one of the things about being ignored in the greater society, it makes you not there to people.
Right.
You're invisible to people.
Right.
People that you would like to connect with, they're there, but you don't know where.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And somebody gonna like pop you on your hand or something if you speak up.
That's right.
Nice. That's not nice. Well, hell, everything ain't nice. If everything was nice, we'd be cool. So
Right.
sometimes things ain't nice. And sometimes I ain't coming to be your cheerleader. I am coming to be the leader.
Right.
And you do, and it's not easy. So I don't want to be giving you the impression that it is, that you just wave a wand and you wake up Sister Macho and it's just very easy. It's not. You have to find your way to be tactful sometimes,
Mhm.
and you have to know how to treat people, and you have to give respect,
That's
and
right.
then you have to demand respect when it's not there. But I find that most of the time when you give respect, you do get it. And speaking up does not make you an outlier.
Right.
Speaking up makes somebody else know that you have an opinion, you have a mind, you have a vision,
Right.
and you have a right to have those things. And you don't have to tap dance for somebody else. It's not. We're not trying to have a I love you contest when it's not there. Because if I got to go against the grain with my own self, then where's the love? Where is the love? If you're going to pit me against my own self, I got to hush and cower down and wish I would speak and wring my hands and hope. Well, I ain't hoping, I'm talking. And I'm going to speak to you like I want to be spoken to.
Right.
But I will speak to you if need be. Yeah, and by now people know that. But at first, that's like something you carving out.
Yeah. A couple of fingers in the process. Nick a couple of, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So it takes some learning and some trying to understand people a little bit and understanding yourself and understanding what words mean and tone,
Mhm.
tones of voices, how it comes across, and all of that. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. And then you got to learn your lyrics too.
Oh, Miss Faye, did you talk about that? Because, I've had a couple of students, we've been talking about lyrics, and it is instrumental students too. And could you explain how important it is to learn the lyrics of the songs that you play and that you sing?
Well, the biggest question I would ask them, I would ask the singer, well, what the hell are you singing about? And I would ask the instrumentalist, what the hell are you playing about? Because if the song have lyrics and you don't know the lyrics, then you don't know what the composer is trying to get over.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
If you want a song, then write you a song. I bet you're going to want your song sung or played like you wrote it.
That's right.
So if you're going to endeavor to fool with somebody else's song, then this song has a content, the song has a message of some kind, and some song says many things to many people. So you let people interpret the song like they hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my blue skies might not be the same as your blue skies.
Right.
You know, but then if the lyric says blue skies, then say blue sky and try to feel what you think your blue skies is, and you're conveying that to somebody else.
Right.
What is you talking about? What are you singing about? Are you singing about somebody that you love so much that you can't breathe? Then how did that composer say that? How did that composer convey that? Or
Mm-hmm.
did somebody make you so sick of them you just want to tell them how many times to go to hell? How does this song enable you to portray that? You
Yeah.
know, lyrics are telling you what the material is about.
Right.
So get out, move your ego out of the way. You don't have to have it for that. The lyrics is telling you what it wants you to know. If
Yeah.
it's darling, you sent me, now that's what it's saying. How many ways are you sending me? So how do I want to convey that?
Right.
Just that phrase to you. You know, what does that mean to you in order for me to regurgitate it to you, to
Mhm.
make you get it?
Right.
So if you don't if you say uh, um what what gets you, if you say the Apple computer gets me, then somebody will be saying we better go see about this girl. You know, the computer is supposed to get her. But if you say darling, that's your first indication
Mm-hmm.
of what that emotion is.
Yeah.
And if you say you, well, we ain't talking about somebody across the street. We're talking to the sucker that's standing in front of you. And then what do? You ain't pissing me off. You sending me.
That's
What
right.
does it mean to you as the vocalist or the instrumentalist? What does those words convey to you? So you got to have the words in order for it to convey something. Something. And most songs are woven together very nicely to tell some kind of story.
Right.
And a lot of times the story is in the ear of the beholder. But you just tell the story and let somebody else interpret that, how it feels to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got one more question and then we're going to open it up to our viewers out there. If you have a question for Miss Faye or myself, please leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear your questions. Or if you just want to say, hey, that's totally fine too. I'm going to ask you this question, Miss Faye. If you had to drop some words of wisdom for some young women musicians and vocalists, what would your advice be?
Man, that's hard. It's hard to give advice because, first of all, I would say love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself and know that you're all right. Know that you're all right. Know that you have a right to dream. Go ahead on and do that. Dream. And then follow the dream up with action.
Mm-hmm.
What does that action look like? I mean, we're in the world of computers and stuff, so does that mean Facebooking and emailing and whatever people are doing? Are you TikToking? whatever the thing of the moment is. You know, take some action and do something. Betty Carter say, do something. Do something. Yeah, and don't worry about um, naysayers. Don't worry about anything but the vision that you have and the right that to have that vision and embark on it and be fearless.
Yeah,
When you feel fear, it's all right. Still tell yourself, I'm gonna fake it till I make it. I ain't fearful. I'm going on and I'm doing this.
that's right.
I'm doing this. And then you just kind of plod on, and then pretty soon the fear kind of fade away till another fear thing comes.
Hmm.
Keep going anyway. And everything is fine.
Yeah,
Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Then you can love other people.
right.
And music is love.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Love and truth.
that is the truth. Well, I'm gonna look here real quick and see if we have any questions.
Okay.
Okay, here's one. What was the hardest thing you ever had to face as an artist?
Wow. I think the hardest thing I had to face as an artist is racism. Just die in the wool, still around racism and dealing with it in the ways in which it shows its face. That's about the hardest thing because I can learn a song. I can now learn how to run my band. I can take care of my own business. I love collaborating with other people.
Mhm.
There's so many things that now I've grown to know how to do, but it's racism that keeps putting itself in your face as an obstacle
Right.
in some way or another. And racism and ageism.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. That's really real. I
Yeah,
guess
but at the same time, Camille, I would be having a Valentine's Day show. I'm gonna be streaming.
tell the people.
Now, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
Okay.
So it's called Lovers and Others, because everybody ain't got no lovers, so I like for everybody to come. Lovers and Others, Valentine's Day, live from Faye Carol this Sunday at 6 p.m. on my Facebook and on YouTube pages. So tune in, and we're going to do some tunes and have some fun on Valentine's Day.
I love
Yeah. So in the end, that's the bottom line. No
it.
matter what comes or how hard it might be,
Mm,
come Sunday, it's gonna be some singing going on. That's all I can tell you.
that's right.
You just have to do it anyway.
Exactly. That's all he had to do. Just do it.
Find a way, and you will find a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Faye, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor having you as my guest. Just want to announce to everybody again, real quick. You can follow Miss Faye Carol on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Her name is the at sign the Dynamic Miss. And
Yeah.
again, tune into that Valentine's Day concert. I guarantee you, you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to throw your shoe at that computer because
Oh, Camille, you are such a jewel. You are such a jewel. I thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for the art that you're making. So know that you have my love, and we must keep that connection.
that's right.
And shout out to Daryl.
Ah, he's probably watching now. Well, thank you
Yeah,
again.
if Keith is watching, shout out to her too.
That's right. Oh man, Kito is a bad pianist.
Something,
Woo!
something special.
Amazing. I don't know anybody else out here on the scene that can play like her. She is
No,
one of a kind, and she's
yeah. She is all I can say, she's a hurricane.
yeah, she's so bad. She's amazing.
And a sweetheart. Yeah, just like you, girl. So thank you, Camille.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And for our viewers out there, you could follow The Haven Hang at Camille Thurman Music on Facebook, or you could go on Instagram at Camille Thurman. We have another one coming up again in 2 weeks. We're going to try to get this baby rolling. Since we had such a wonderful first season, we're going to have a lot of great, amazing guests. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. You're just going to have to sign up to the mailing list or join us on social media. Until then, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Miss Faye Carol, for joining us.
I love
And
you.
I love you too. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you at the next Haven Hang. Day,